Alright guys, welcome back to another video. In the previous video, we showed you guys our trip coming up to David's. And well, we've been getting a lot done here, and we're finally going to be able to give you guys the tour that we've been wanting to give you of David's fish room. Okay, so since we're doing a tour of David's fish room, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up my camera and get some shots of him telling you a little bit about his wonderful fish room, a little bit about this beautiful rack that we just set up to get all of his tanks onto. I think this is gonna make things a little bit easier on him in the long run, taking care of all the aquariums and keeping up with all of his projects.
Hey, what's up guys? Well, it's finally time to tour my fish room. I know you've seen Jesse's, what now, 3 times?
2 or 3 times.
And you guys have yet to have seen mine. So I think it's time to go ahead and show you. It's been a long time coming. So I went ahead and bought one of these. Don't even remember, I think they're like a husky shelf. Got one of these, set it up, consolidated. Jesse doesn't like me using that word, but consolidated all the tanks onto the rack itself. We got 4 shelves here. I'm going to explain the rack just a little bit before I get into the tanks. This is going to be used for 2.5 gallons, 5 gallons, breeding projects for some bettas, smaller fish. Just how I had to consolidate this upper rack. Hey, I'm going to use it. Here, 4 10s. And 220 longs. We'll get more in depth into these as I go into touring the tank. Bottom, got 4 20 gallons. Gonna put one more down here when I get another tank. Don't have an extra one right now, but it'll come along. And then we got a storage rack. Put like cultures, supplies, stuff like that. All right, let's get into it. So there's nothing up here besides some storage right now. Those tanks don't have anything in it. So it's just these 2 shelves right now. So this 10 gallon has I believe a half moon betta in it. What would you say that was, a blueberry? I think is what they called it.
I would say that's what they had it listed at the store anyhow.
I can't remember what it was called. I know it's a half moon. It's a male. Got another male half moon here. Picked it up from the same store. Beautiful, beautiful male. Going to end up breeding him soon. Gonna get him conditioned and everything. Here, the betta females that Jesse had brought me up, the 3 he had, I ended up putting one of mine down here. I'm gonna get these guys conditioned up. As you guys know, females can stay together, males cannot. Females won't kill each other, males will rip each other apart. And here, in this 10 gallon, I have a 2 male, 2 female HRP convex cichlids. They're the parrots, 2 of the blues and 2 of the whites. Trying to get them to breed out, but I've had success twice and none so far, so I'm hoping more will come. So down here, if you guys watch Aquarium Co-op at all and you've seen Dean, he has that fry system he uses. Well, I went ahead and built it, but not to how he built it. I built it to my own liking. And if you guys want an explanation in another video, leave a comment down below asking for an explanation on how either I did it or how it works and what the benefits are, and I'll try and post a video on that. There's a 20 gallon back here, holds a female veil-tail betta. Jesse will tell you she is a jerk. She had killed my dragon scale that I spent $30 on trying to mate her with. I don't know why she is an aggressive female. I tried to mate her. There's another male upstairs that my girlfriend had, and I tried to mate them because he was building bubble nest and she has her tube out. And I turned off the light, released her, tried to get him to breed, and she almost killed him.
Yeah, that's just one of those females that's out to kill anything and everything possibly that you try to pair her off with. That is the girl that you do not take to prom.
You would think that that female is a male, but that's definite a female because I've bred her before. I bred her, I bought 2 veil tails, her and the one that had passed a year ago. I got babies off of them, and ever since I never bred her again, and I tried again, and twice it's failed. So I bought another veil tail that's upstairs, and we'll see. Hopefully she doesn't try to kill this one.
Hopefully not.
As you can see, there's another fry system kind of idea here. Jesse here wanted to build his own to take back to Hamilton. It's not attached to this tank in any way, shape, or form. And attach it to his own 20 long. It's just a plug and play system at that point. So, and if you guys have been watching the channel, watching any other videos, he's cranking out betas like crazy. So he's gonna definitely need this. So hopefully it'll help with success rate and everything else after that. This 20, I did have more Corridora, some died off, you know. I don't know how many I have in here. I see 3 right now. And then there's some Mbuna cichlids that Jesse had brought me. I'm gonna try and breed them when they get older. And I'm gonna get some more Cories down the road, and I'm gonna try and breed those because we've been trying so hard. We get the eggs, we see them, and then they're gone. We can't get them so we can hatch them.
That's just how it goes. I mean, I had my bronze Cories, I had those in a 10-gallon, had it set up, got the pH right, got the TDS right, got a couple big spawns, and every single one of the eggs fungused on me. Major bummer. Major bummer. Finally got an egg tumbler, and now all of a sudden they don't want to give up the eggs. So I guess maybe get some new blood in there and try again. Just keep tweaking it until you figure out what works.
Right. Pair of angels that I had in my 75-gallon upstairs, which we'll get into. I brought them downstairs with the breeding cone. They bred, what was it, like a month ago? I had some babies. I had them to free swimming. I put them in a 2.5 gallon to try and get them to grow out. And something happened and it crashed and I didn't see them anymore. So I lost them, but I know they're ready. They've been eyeing that cone for a while now. So put them down here, fatten them up with some bloodworms and some other high protein foods, and cross our fingers. All right, so the last 2 tanks on this rack that are filled with water do not have anything in them at the moment. I'm going to be looking for some more fish, or if I breed some bettas and stuff like that, I'm going to probably need them as a grow out, or I might find something I like and try and breed it. Who knows, the possibilities are endless.
Okay, so let's talk about the bedroom tank. I know you've got the peacock bass and you've got a channel catfish in here. And what are the future plans for this? How long do you think they'll probably stay in here? What's the end game goal for this tank?
So yes, I do have a peacock bass, Calberry, I believe, when I picked it up from the fish store down in Dayton, Ohio. A blue channel cat. They're not going to stay in there for very much longer. Probably a few months at most. My girl and I both want to get a snake, and it's sitting on that 40-gallon. It's a 40-gallon breeder, and that tank is sitting on that stand. So we're going to use that stand for the snake, because then we are getting a 40-gallon Reptarium tank from Jesse. So we're going to take that tank, and I'm going to bring it down here. And I'm going to use it as a grow out. I already have a 40-gallon breeder over there. It currently doesn't have anything in it at the moment. We got to clean it, you know, get it all set back up and everything. Might move that stand over here to this side with the rack just to have it as a grow out and get it on the system. Not sure on the plans yet, but when I get to the other 40-gallon, they're going to go into the 75 in the living room. They're going to grow up in there. Next tank we'll talk about is also going to go into 75 when it grows up. If you guys watched Jesse's last video on the surprising me with my dream fish, he brought me a red-tailed catfish. Mine died sadly because of a disease known as fish tuberculosis. Had a bent spine. Thought it was just a minor deformity. Thought she would grow out of it. They got worse and worse. I was, you know, had high hopes. It ended up proving fatal. She died. She was about this big, about that big around, and it hurt a lot. I shut down that tank and swore off getting another one because I just couldn't do it. And then he surprised me. So when that one grows up, because it's what, all about that big right now?
Yeah, I'd say it's in the 4 to 6 inch ish range.
Eats like a pig, I'm not even gonna lie. I fed it shrimp this morning and then 2 shrimps tonight, and it gobbled everything up. It's going to grow in no time. So the 75 is the next tank. It actually has 1 angelfish left in it. I used to have a shoal of 10. They were old. It was when I first got my 36 gallon. A lot of them were from a while ago, 5 years they say, and they don't live very long. So a lot of them died off. These 2 are the paired off ones, and then that one, which I'll probably bring down here and probably put in one of those 20s, just to keep the filter alive, you know, and figure out what I can do with him or her. Not entirely sure. Later down the road, might get another couple angels to try and pair them off. So we'll see what happens in future videos and plans and stuff as it goes. Also host a bunch of catfish, Raphael cat, Eclipse cat.
You've got the red tail. You've got the red tail shark in there.
Red tail shark, 4-line Pictus cat, 2 bumblebee, African bumblebee cats. A couple other things in there I can't quite remember right now. A clown loach, and then a bunch of bristlenose plecos in there. So those might stay in there with the red tail, the peacock, and the channel cat when they go in, just for the time being. Because once the peacock, the red tail get big enough, they'll eat them. So until they get to that point, they're going to stay in there until I can find something down here to put them in, because that's a lot of catfish. But we'll figure it out. Next tank is going to be the 20 long in my guest bedroom. Used to house the HRP parrots, and
This wasn't planned. This was not planned.
it has a matin filter on it and everything, and they enjoyed it. And I had ordered Jesse some plants, me and him some plants, red root floater and some frog bit off Amazon, and I put it in that tank to keep it alive until he goes back home. And we put the paradise fish he brought up in there. Well, he went to go grab them so we could put them down here in the fish room, and what do you know, there's a big massive bubble nest, and we didn't know if there was eggs in it or not. We were looking, and there is a lot. They are clustered in there, and the male and female were protecting that nest with their life. So we decided to take the parrots and put them down here versus the paradise fish.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I mean, from what I've seen of their parents and breeding the betta fish, which are very similar to the paradise fish in the sense that they are both bubble nest builders. However, with the paradise fish, both parents can remain in the tank to hatch the fry. And we've seen this in the case of where you had gotten the original ones that were bred out before I got the children and spawned those. And now the circle of life continues with you having their children back and those now spawning for you right off the rip.
So the last and final tank in the house, Planet Tank 15 gallon column tank on my computer desk. It's doing wonderful. The plants are thriving. The Amazon sword quadrupled in size in months. The fish are doing amazing. It holds a lavender opaline gourami, male, right? Is that one?
Yeah.
And then it holds some swordtails that Jesse had bred and brought up to me, and we put in there his own genetics that he bred into him. And he's going to take a couple females back home because he's got some males, and we're going to see what he can do with them.
And now you've got the mystery guppies. Now a lot of those, I do believe the parents were of mosaic lines, so those should be absolutely beautiful when they come in.
Yeah.
And then you've got the red dorsal fin least killifish in there, and those are actually a native species to the US, guys. So that's one of those really cool, put in the background in a tank somewhere fish and just let them do their thing.
There's 3 dojo loaches in there. They're still doing amazing. Don't ever see them except when they're hanging out on the Amazon sword. I have a ton of snails thanks to Jesse.
I mean, with that being said, And that brings us to...
Alright, so, well, with the snails, that brings us to this tank right here. I have a green spotted puffer, or some people call it the figure 8 puffer. Supposed to be in brackish water. They can live in fresh water. Right now he's in fresh water because marine salt went up tremendously, and I don't have that right now to be consistently buying. So I converted him back to fresh water. He's doing amazing. He eats the snails when I bring him down. He'll eat shrimp, tilapia, everything. Right now I'm in the midst of just fixing the tank, rearranging, because they get bored with their surroundings, so you kind of have to rearrange. Once that's done, I'll fill her back up. So this 55 gallon here used to have the goldfish of my girlfriend's. It's actually upstairs now, so it's actually empty. I gotta do some more stuff to it. We're gonna plan on putting some of this planet substrate that's in here, putting them in some of the tanks. And then I'm gonna go ahead and clean this tank up, and I might use it for some grow out for some certain things and leave it here. I'm just not quite sure yet. We'll see what it has to come. All right, so this tank right here is the Axolotl tank. And if you guys know anything about axolotls, they have to be kept cold. Anywhere from 59 degrees at the lowest up to 72 at the max. Anything above that, they will stress out and they can die. They are a cold water amphibian. They just haven't metamorphosized into a salamander newt stage. Or, sorry, they haven't metamorphosized into a salamander. They are stuck in a newt stage, and this is the cute little things we call axolotls. I have 2 of them. This is a albino speckled axolotl, and then I have another one over here, just a regular wild type. He's a little grumpy right now, so he's hiding in the cave. This is my most expensive setup. It's powered by a sump. That way it can go through a chiller to keep them cold, and they are very messy creatures. They have to have high filtration, and hence sump being the perfect filtration for this. So right now, if you go back into our videos, you can see how this was built. Jesse did a video on how to do the trash can. And here is a common pleco, which is going to go home with Jesse.
No, heck no.
No, he's in here, he cleans up the algae because there's sun that comes through the windows up here, beats into the pond and gets the algae. And he's been going ham on it. It was a lot worse in there, and he's been going crazy. And then the big behemoth over here, a blue channel cat that my friend had brought me over because it was too big for his tank, and he knew I had the pond, so he brought it over to me, and it's been living in here for about 2 months now. That's basically everything. Soon, when the red-tailed and peacock, the other channel cat, grow up, this is where they're going to go for the time being until we build the bigger surprise, which you guys will have to look out for. It's going to be coming later this year, hopefully. It's going to be way bigger than this, and it's going to be a fun build. It's going to cost a lot. It's going to be a fun build. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and finally getting to see my fish room after seeing Jesse's here 3 different times in 3 different videos. If you haven't already, go ahead and like this video and check out some of our other videos. It would be much appreciated. And hey, we are so close to having 200 subscribers. If you could be amazing and just subscribe, you're not going to want to miss things that we're doing here. We're trying to build this channel because we love what we do, and you know, being that close to 200 is unreal. It just means a lot, and being that close is just so motivating. So if you guys could get us to 200, that would be amazing. I mean, I've seen what you guys can do. You got us to 3,000 views on one video, so why can't you get us to 200 subs? Alright guys, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, and until the next video, from Riverfront Aquatics to you guys, peace out.
Peace.